We continue now at the top of Daf Tzadi Zayin Amud Beis in Mesechet Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 97b. On the previous Amud, the Talmud Devei Eliyahu said that for the first 2,000 years of the world is Tohu, is going to be emptiness. The next 2,000 years is Torah, and the next 2,000 years is Mashiach. And the Gemara continues, Uvavonoseinu sharabu, but with our many sins, Yatsu mehem mash Yatsu, we've deducted whatever has been deducted, meaning Mashiach has not come. As Rashi explains, Avol b'shvil avonoseinu sharabu lo ba Mashiach lesof dalet alpayim. Mashiach did not come after 4,000 years. V'yatsu mash Yatsu, we left out whatever was left out. Sha'adayin hu mu'ukav lavu, meaning to say, still Mashiach has not come. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Eliyahu le Rav Yehuda achud Rav Salach Hasida. Eliyahu Hanavi said to Rav Yehuda, who was the brother of Rav Salach Hasida, Ein ha'olam pachos mishmonim v'chamisha yovlos. The world is not going to be less than 85 yovel cycles. Uvay yovel ha'acharon, and in the last yovel ben David ba, that's when Mashiach is going to come. Amar le said to him, B'tchilaso o b'sofo, and that last yovel, is it going to be in the beginning of it or at the end of it? Amar le, he said to him, Eini odeya, I don't know. Kala oeno kala, he asked him, is that yovel, is it going to be finished and then Mashiach will come, or it's not going to be finished first? Amar le said to him, Eini odeya, I do not know. Rav Ashi says, Hachi Amar le, this is what he said to him, Ad hacha, until this amount of time, lo tistachi le, don't anticipate that Mashiach will come. Mikan va'ilach, but from that time forward, istachi le, so then one can anticipate that Mashiach is going to come. And Rashi explains, Shmonim v'chamisha yovlin, 85 yovel cycles, hainu daled alpayim, masayim v'chamishim shana, that's a total of 4,250 years. He asked, B'tchilas hayovel ha'acharon huba o b'sofo, is it going to come in the beginning of that last yovel or at the end? Kol zman hazeh kodem sheyavo Mashiach, is this time going to finish before Mashiach comes? O eino kolor, maybe it's not going to finish. V'soch hayovel b'sofo huba, maybe during the yovel, towards the end of it, that's when Mashiach will come. And then the Gemara said, Ad hacha lo testachi le, ad yovel lo acharon lo tetzapelo, meaning until the last yovel, don't even wait for it. Devadei lo yavo, kodem hazman hazeh. Certainly Mashiach will not come before this time, but after that already estachi le, then you can anticipate it. Chika lo sheyavo, you can wait for him to come. And the Gemara continues, Sholach le Rav Chanan bar Tachlifa le Rav Yosef. Rav Chanan bar Tachlifa sent to Rav Yosef, Matzasi Adam Echad, I found a person, Uviyado Megillah Achas, and he had in his hand one scroll, Ksuva Ashuris, which was written with Ashuris letters, Velashon Kodesh, it was written in the Holy Tongue. Amarti lo, I said to him, Zumi Nayin lach, where did you get this scroll from? Amar li, he said to me, L'chayolos shel Romi niskarti, I was hired by the army of Rome, Uven ginze Romi mitzasi, I found it among the archives of Rome. V'chasabon, it was written in there as follows: Liachar dalad alpayim u'masayim v'tishim v'yachad shana. After 4,291 years, the Gra has a girsa instead of tishim, has a girsa of shloshim 30. But in any case, after 4,291 years, libriyaso shalolam, from the creation of the world, ha'olam yitom, at that point in time, the world will be finished. Mehen, and from them milchamos taninim, there's going to be wars of the serpents. Mehen milchamos Gog u'Magog, from those years there will be wars of Gog and Magog. Ushar yemos HaMashiach, and the rest will be the days of Mashiach, and then the world will be destroyed. V'yen HaKadosh Baruch Hu mechadesh es olamo ela la'achar shivas alpayim shana. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is only going to renew the world after 7,000 years. Rav Acha brei de Rava, Amar Rav Acha the son of Rava says, li'achar chameshes alpayim shana. After 5,000 years, that's when the world will be renewed. And Rashi explains, Taninim is dogim, those are the sea monsters, V'hashar yemos HaMashiach, and the rest will be days of Mashiach, meaning Shekala Hashibud, the time of servitude will finish, Mashiach ba, and Mashiach will come, and Mechadesh Olamo means the world will be renewed, Livro Olam Chadash, meaning a new world will be created. And the Gemara continues, Tanya was taught in a Brisa, Rabbi Nosson Omer, Rabbi Nosson says, Mikra Zeh, the following pasuk, in Chabakuk, Nokev v'yored to home, it penetrates and descends until the depths, meaning it's the interpretation of the pasuk is unfathomable, and the pasuk says ki od chazon lamoed, because there is still for the vision to the appointed time. V'yafeach lakates, it declares to the end, v'lo yechaziv, and does not lie. Im yismama, if it delays, chake lo, wait for it, kivo yavo lo ya'acher, it will surely come, it will not delay. And the Gemara continues and explains, Lo karabosenu shayur darshan. It's not like the sages that darshan ad idon and uplag idon, that's from Sefer Daniel, until a period and periods and a half a period. V'lo karab simloy, and not like Rab Simloy shahaya dorish, because he darshaned. And this is from the pasuk in Tehillim, Hachaltem lechem dima, you've given them to eat bread of tears, vatashkemo bidmos shlish, and you've given them to drink with tears and measure. V'lo karab Yekiva, not like Rabbi Yekiva shahaya dorish, that he darshaned. And this is from the pasuk in Chagai, Orach achas, yet once, ma'adhi, it's a little bit, vani marish es hashamayim ve'es ha'aretz, and I will shake the heavens and the earth. Ella, rather, Malchus Rishon, the first kingdom, will be Shivim Shana, will be 70 years. Malchus Shnia, the second kingdom, Chamishim Ushtayim, that will be 52 years. Malchus Ben Kuziba, and the kingdom of Ben Kuziba, Shtei Shanim Umechza, that will be 2.5 years. And Rashi explains this pasuk in Chabakuk, Nokev v'yored ad hatahom, it penetrates and descends until the depths. Ma'atahom ein locates v'sof, just like the depths have no end. Kach ein adam yachol amar al sof pasuk zeh, so too, a person is not going to be able to understand this pasuk. And then the Gemara said, Lo k'Rabosenu, it's not like the sages. Al titzbu lo so kates shayu Rabosenu darshan. Don't wait for that end, for the end of times like the sages darshan. The way they darshan is from the pasuk in Daniel, ad idan and uplag idan until a period and periods and a half a period. And Rashi explains, Idon ki Idon hagolus shal Mitzrayim. The period means like the period of exile of Mitzrayim. V'hainu daled meos, that's 400 years. And so Beis Idon is ches meos, so then two periods would be 800 years. Hainu yud beis meos, that's a total 800 plus 400 is 1200 years. Uplag Idon, and then add another half a period. Beis meos, that's another 400 years. Sach hakol, so if you add it all together, elef v'daled meos, that would be 1400 years. And then the Gemara said, "Vatashkemu b'dmos shlish." It's not like Rabbi Simloi, who darshans the pasuk in Tehillim, which says again, "Vatashkemu b'dmos shlish." Kilomar, what that means to say is, "Hishka osam Hakadosh Baruch Hu." Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave them to drink, so to speak, bein Golus Mitzrayim leGolus Bavel, between the exile of Egypt and the exile of Bavel. Shlish, 1/3, Golus Edom. That's the Golus Edom, that's the exile of Rome. Ki kates Golus Edom zeh, that the end of Golus Edom will be, Yiyah L'sof Gimel Pa'amim Taf Shanim V'Gimel Pa'amim Ayin Shana. It's going to be at the end of 3 times 400 years and 3 times 70 years. In other words, the Gemara is understanding Shlish to mean 3 times the amount of the Golus Mitzrayim and 3 times the amount of the Golus Bavel, which is 3 times 400 plus 3 times 70. Connected Golus Bavel, the 70 years is Golus Bavel. Dahainu, if you add that all together, Dahainu L'sof Elef V'Yarba Meos V'Eser Shanim. That's going to be at the end of 1,410 years. Kvar Avru, all of this has already passed. These timelines have already passed. V'lo Hayan, it didn't happen. Kach Matzasi Kasa B'Shem Harav Rabbi Shmuel Bar David. Rashi says, this is what I found written in the name of Rabbi Shmuel Bar David. And Rashi continues, Od Achas Miati, and also, it's not like Rabbi Akiva who darshan the pasuk of Od Achas Miati, that was the pasuk in Chagai. Benevuas Chagai Ksiv Shayim Misnabe, this was in Nevuas Chagai, he was prophesizing Kashayatzu Yisrael Migolus Bavel, when Klal Yisrael was leaving the exile of Bavel, V'yivne Beis HaMikdash, and the Beis HaMikdash was going to be built then. V'hainu Od Achas Miati, means to say, Miat Kavod Etein Lahem Yisrael, I'm going to give a little bit of honor to Klal Yisrael. V'ani Marish Es HaShamayim V'Es HaAretz, I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth. Ve'evesi Kol Chem Das Goyim L'Yerushalayim, all the nations to Yerushalayim. V'Rabbi Akiva Darish Olei L'Yemos HaMashiach, and Rabbi Akiva is darshaning this pasuk as a reference to the Yemos HaMashiach. Uliyachar Churban, and after the destruction, V'hachi Darishlein, he's darshaning it as follows: Odachas miati ma'at kavod etin liYisrael. I'm going to give a little of honor to Klal Yisrael. V'yachar kach yavo HaMashiach, and then Mashiach will come. Udrasha zu eina elakra alifnei habayis koi v'hachi kamer. This drasha is talking about before the Beis Hamikdash, and it means as follows: Odachas miati is going to be a little ma'at kavod, a little bit of honor. Etin lahem liYisrael, I'll give to Klal Yisrael. V'shuv lo etin lahem kol yemos bayis acharon, and then I won't give them any further the days of the last Beis Hamikdash. V'chein hoy, and that's what happened. The Malchus Rishona shall Malchus Chashmonoi, because that kingdom of the Chashmonoim, Niskaimo Shivim Shana, that was 70 years. V'yafagav Damrinim b'Seder Olam, the Malchus Beis Chashmonoim Meya V'Shalosh. Now, even though we say in Seder Olam that the Chashmonoim were actually 103 years, Umalchus Hordus Meya V'Shalosh, and the kingdom of Hordus was 103. But Ikar Kavodim Upeirim, but the main glory, Shalosh Shalta Behem Uma, where no nation was ruling over them, Lo Niskaim Kol Kach, was not actually that long. Umalchus Shnia, and then the second kingdom, Shal Hordus, of Hordus, Nun Beis Shana, that's 52 years. Umalchus Ben Kuziba, and then the kingdom of Ben Kuziba, Beis Shana Mumechsa, that was 2.5 years. V'shuv Lo Haya Lahem Melech, and then there would be no further kings. And Rashi says, V'chol hanach drasha, so all of these drashas, lav Mishnah v'lav Brisa, they're not from the Mishnah, they're not from the Brisa. And Rashi continues, Lishna Achrin, another way of understanding, Od achas mi'ati, what does it mean? Yet one, there's going to be a little bit. Ma'at malchus etein lahem li Yisrael la'achar churban, I'll give them a little bit of kingship to Klal Yisrael after the destruction. U'li'achar oso malchus, and after that, hineni marish shamayim v'oretz v'yavo Mashiach, then I'll shake the heavens and the earth, and Mashiach will come. And Rashi notes, V'ein drasha zu klum, this drasha is nothing. We've actually seen many kingdoms to Klal Yisrael after the destruction. And nevertheless, Loba Mashiach has not come. The kingdom that Klal Yisrael had after the destruction, the first one was 70 years, and Hordus Nun Beis, and Hordus was 52, and Ben Kuziba Beis Umechsa, Ben Kuziba was 2.5 years. Umatzino b'Seder Olam, and we find in Seder Olam, Mipulmus Shal Aspasianas ad Pulmus Shal Titus Shtei Mesrei Shana, from the time of Aspasianus till Titus was 12 years. Umipulmus Shal Titus ad Malchus Ben Kuziba Yud Zayin Shanim, from Titus to Ben Kuziba was 17 years. Umalchus Ben Kuziba Beis Shanim Umechsa, and Ben Kuziba was 2.5 years. And the Gemara continues, what does it mean when the Pasuk says that it declares to the end but does not lie? And the Gemara explains, Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Rav Yonasan, Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani says that Rav Yonasan says, Tipach atzman shal mechashvei kitzin. Those people who try to figure out the end of days, they try to figure out the coming of Mashiach, they should be cursed. Shal yu amrim kevan she'igias ha'ketz v'lo ba, shuvein ba, because they're going to say that when that time comes and Mashiach does not come, they're going to say he's not going to come at all anymore. They're going to give up hope completely. Ella, rather, what should a person do? Chake lo, a person should wait for him. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, Yismama, if he delays, Chake lo, wait for him. Shematomer, maybe you'll say, Anu mechaken v'hu einu mechake. Maybe you'll say that we're waiting, but he's not waiting. Talmud Lomar, the Pasuk says, L'chein yechaka Hashem l'chananchem, v'l'chein yorim l'rachemchem. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he waits in order to be gracious to you, and he'll be exalted in order to have mercy. Now, if it's true that we're waiting and he's waiting, so what's holding it back? Everyone's waiting for Mashiach. Why doesn't it come? And the Gemara says, Midas hadin ma'akeves. It is the midah of justice. It is the midah of din that holds it back. And the Gemara continues, but if the midas hadin is holding it back, so anu lama mechaken, so what are we waiting for? And the Gemara says to that, lakabel schar, that's simply to receive reward. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, Ashrei, fortunate is the one, kol chochelo, fortunate is the one that waits for him. And the Gemara continues, Amar Abaya says, Lo pachas alma mitlosin v'shisa tzadike. There is not less than 36 tzadikim in the world, the mekablei ape shchina b'chol dara, that receive the shchina, the face of the shchina, in every generation. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, this is the Pasuk we quoted above from Yeshaya, Ashrei kol chochei lo, it says, fortunate are all those who wait for him, and lo begematria tlosin v'shisa have. Lo in gematria is 36, referring to the 36 tzadikim. But the Gemara continues, Ini, is that really true? V'yamar Rava, but Rava said, Dora dekame kutsha berichu, tamne sari alfei parsa havoi, the generation that's before HaKadosh Baruch Hu is 18,000 parsa. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, in Yecheskel, Saviv, Shmona Asar Elef, it says surrounding 18,000. And so therefore it seems like there are many more than 36 people. And the Gemara says, Lokash, it's not difficult. When we talk about the 36, those are the ones who can see the Shechina through the luminous crystal. They can see clearly. And but those ones, the larger number of people, they see through the crystal that's not as luminous. But the Gemara still continues and asks, but is it really so many people that see Baspaklaria Hamira, 36 people? But Chizkiya said, Rabbi Yirmiyah said in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Ra'isi b'nei Aliyah, I've seen people of elevation, great people, v'hein mu'atin, but there are very few of them. Im elefheim, if there are 1,000 of them, ani uvani mehem, myself and my son are among them. Im meyohem, if there's just 100 people, ani uvani mehem, myself and my son are among them. And im shnayim heim, if there are just 2 of them, ani uvani heim, it's me and my son, we are those 2 people. So you see, it might not even be 36 people. It might be as few as 2 people. And the Gemara says, Lokash, it's not difficult. Hada aili bebar. In one case, we're talking about those who can enter with permission. That's 36 people. But hada aili below bar. But for those who can enter without permission, that can be as few as 2 people. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav, Rav says, Kalu kol hakitzin, all the calculations of the end of days, they've all passed. Ve'en hadavar talo yela b'teshuva ma'asim tovim. Everything is now dependent on teshuva, on repentance, and ma'asim tovim, on good deeds. Ushmuel Amar, but Shmuel says, Dayu la'avel sheyamod be'evlo. It's sufficient for the mourner to remain in his mourning, meaning teshuva is not necessary. The suffering alone can bring a Mashiach. And the Gemara continues, Ketanoi, this is actually a machlokas tanoim. Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Im Yisrael osin teshuva, if Klal Yisrael does teshuva, Negolin, then they will be redeemed. But if not, Ein Negolin, they will not be redeemed. Amar le Rabbi Yoshua said to him, Im Ein osin teshuva, Ein Negolin, do you really think if they don't do teshuva, they won't be redeemed? Ella, rather, HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'imid lohen melech, shegzeiros of kashos kahaman, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will set up a king for them who has harsh decrees like Haman, V'Yisrael osin teshuva, and that will force Klal Yisrael to do teshuva, Umachziron lamutav, that will return them to the path of good. And the Gemara continues, Tanya Idach, we learned in another brayso, Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Im Yisrael osin teshuva negol, and if Klal Yisrael does teshuva, they will be redeemed. Shenemar, as it says, Shuvu banim shovavim erpa mishuvosechem, it talks about the teshuva that the children, the sons, will do. Amar lo Rabbi Yoshua says to him, V'alo kvar nemar, but doesn't it already say, Chinam nimkartim, you were sold for nothing, V'lo bekesef tigoyla, you will not be redeemed for money. And what does that pasuk mean? It means Chinam nimkartim ba'avodas kochavim, you were sold for nothing, meaning you were sold for idols, which are like nothing. V'lo bekesef tigoyla, you will not be redeemed with money, meaning lo b'teshuva ma'asim tovim, not with teshuva and ma'asim tovim. Those are not necessary for the redemption. Amar lo Rabbi Eliezer lo Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Eliezer said to Rabbi Yoshua, V'alo kvar nemar, but doesn't it already say, Shuvu elai v'yashuva aleichem, return to me and I will return to you. So it seems as though teshuva is necessary. Amar le Rabbi Yoshua says to him, V'alo kvar nemar, but doesn't it already say, Ki anochi ba'alti b'chem v'lakachti eschem echad me'ir u'shnai mimishpoch, it says, I have taken you, ve'ivesi eschem Tzion, I'm going to bring you to Tzion. It seems to be without teshuva. Amar lo Rabbi Eliezer says to him, V'alo kvar nemar, doesn't it already say, B'shuva v'nachas tivasheyon, that again, through teshuva, that's how you're going to be saved. Amar lo Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Yoshua said to Rabbi Eliezer, V'alo kvar nemar, but doesn't it already say, Ko amar Hashem goel Yisrael u'kadosho, so says Hashem, the Redeemer of Israel, livzo nefesh l'mesoiv goy, to the one who is despised of man and the nation, lo eved moshlim, to the servant of rulers. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Tzadi Ches Amud Aleph.